Kishimoto has a knack for taking basic concepts and flipping them into absolutely mind-bending powers. But sometimes you can tell even he was like, let's make this ridiculously overpowered and worry about the details later. Case in point, Tsukuyomi, Itachi Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan ability. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know what Tsukuyomi is. But on the off chance you don't, let me set the stage. Tsukuyomi is one of the most broken genjutsu in the Naruto universe. It's a technique that traps someone in a world entirely created by Itachi's mind, where he has total control over time, space, and reality itself. The classic example? That horrifying scene where he stabs Kakashi repeatedly for 72 hours, which, in the real world, lasted only a second.
I wonder how much of this someone without the Kekkei Genkai can take. Time and space. Even physical mass. I control them all.
How did we get here? Well, Itachi's abilities, and his whole vibe, really, are built on psychological warfare. If Gojo's infinity represents untouchable superiority, then Tsukuyomi is the weapon of someone who says, I don't need to fight you physically. I'll break your mind instead. But wait, how does this work? Kishimoto never dives deep into the mechanics, but there are hints if you pay attention. Tsukuyomi revolves around the idea of perception, how we process time, space, and events. And honestly, the concept is just as terrifying as the technique itself. Imagine this. You're standing in a room, and suddenly everything slows down. Every second feels like an eternity. That's kind of what Tsukuyomi is, except instead of just slowing time, Itachi stops caring about the rules altogether. He creates a world where time and space are his personal playgrounds, bending and twisting them however he wants. Let me break it down with a classic anime trope, the time dilation effect. You've probably seen this idea pop up in other shows, maybe even experienced it in real life during a boring lecture. Ever notice how 5 minutes waiting for the microwave to finish feels like forever, but 5 minutes binge-watching an anime feels like nothing? That's perception. Itachi takes this concept and cranks it up to infinity. He manipulates how his target's brain processes time, creating the illusion that hours, days, or even years have passed, when in reality only seconds have gone by. Now, here's where things get interesting. Perception of time is something even real-world scientists find fascinating. Have you heard of Einstein's theory of relativity? Yeah, we're going there. It's kind of like how time slows down the closer you get to the speed of light, except instead of physics, Itachi's just using his Sharingan to completely rewrite your brain's understanding of time. Here's the thing about Tsukuyomi that makes it even scarier. It's not just raw power, it's psychological precision. Kishimoto designed this technique to reflect Itachi's character. Calm, methodical, and utterly terrifying. He doesn't just stab you for 72 hours because it's fun, okay, maybe a little. He does it because it breaks you. The sheer control Itachi has over Tsukuyomi mirrors the kind of control he had to maintain throughout his life, keeping secrets, playing double agent, and bearing the weight of the Uchiha clan's fate on his shoulders. This technique isn't just a weapon, it's an extension of who he is. Now let's get a little philosophical. If Gojo's infinity is all about creating a barrier that can never be crossed, Tsukuyomi is about invading your mind in a way that feels inescapable. But here's the kicker. Both powers deal with the concept of infinity. Think about it. Itachi doesn't trap you in an infinite loop, but he creates the illusion of one. When Kakashi experiences 72 hours of pain, it might as well be infinite because there's no sense of relief, no escape. The difference? Infinity in Tsukuyomi is a mental construct, not a physical one. It's as if Itachi found a way to hack the brain's operating system and install a virus that makes time meaningless. Here's a fun thought experiment. Scientists have studied how trauma can affect the perception of time. During moments of extreme stress or pain, the brain processes more information than usual, which can make time feel like it's crawling. Itachi weaponizes this. In Tsukuyomi, he overloads your brain with sensory and emotional input, forcing you to experience every excruciating second in vivid, agonizing detail. And let's not forget, this is Itachi. He's not going to trap you in some generic nightmare. He knows your weaknesses, your fears. He customizes the Tsukuyomi experience to hit where it hurts the most. But why Tsukuyomi? Why did Kishimoto give Itachi this power? Honestly, it's perfect for the story. Itachi is more than just a fighter. He's a strategist, a manipulator. Tsukuyomi isn't about brute force. It's about breaking someone down mentally and emotionally. It's the perfect counter to anyone who relies on strength or speed, because none of that matters when you're trapped in a world where reality is subjective. Tsukuyomi is a masterclass in psychology. It's not just a technique, it's a statement. Itachi doesn't need to overpower you, he just needs you to believe you've lost. And that is why Tsukuyomi is one of the coolest and most terrifying abilities in anime. What do you think?